dive into the nuanced, complex issues with love and marriage and relationship. Thank you for the love. I am Jessica Pontu. This is my amazing husband, Philip Pontu. And so this is a place for married folks, newlywed, seasoned folks, folks who want to be married, folks curious about marriage. And so we create a safe space, real, raw, authentic space through our own transparency about our marriage, about our journey. And so we hope that by creating this space, by first us being transparent, right, that gives you a place to feel free and safe enough to really confront some of the issues that you may be experiencing. Or maybe you're not experiencing issues. Maybe you just want to improve the current relationship that you have. And so this is a space for that, because we know that marriage is not black and white, but it is lived in the gray. And so make sure that you tell us where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, please write hashtag Life in the Gray in the comments so we know that you came by. We have a lot of folks who watch us who don't comment. And it's dope to kind of get feedback that you were here, but we would love to see that you were here. Thank you so much for tapping and liking the video. Make sure you share the live and share this with whoever you think would benefit. Who's that just came in? Hey, y'all. And so, also before we get started, we just launched our relationship reboot, which is a 12-week intimacy challenge. And so over the next 12 weeks, we'll be diving into all kinds of topics dealing with relationship and giving you challenges and strategies to help you improve in that area. So we started communication today. So shout out to the 15 couples who are joining us on this journey. Just a reminder, just a reminder for you, make sure that you confirm your email. You should have gotten your initial week 1 email today.
My boy Kareem in here. What up, though?
What up, though? Make sure you download your workbook and you set up your course account. So I really got excited about this. It started off as just like a challenge, and now you all have a free workbook. You have a course associated to help you. Like, it's amazing. And so we're looking forward to this journey. Make sure you join the Facebook community as well, because we'll be communicating that way. If you did not join the journey this time, go ahead and go over to www.greatareathepodcast.com and sign up for our waiting list for our next one. So this cohort is closed, but if you want to join us next time, go to www.greatareathepodcast.com and sign up for the wait list, and we'll make sure that we bring you in the next time. And so so let's jump into the topic today. So the title of this episode is Driving from the Passenger Seat, the Intimacy Wall, and the Funny Thing About Finances. And so this is all about our trip to Jamaica that we just took at the end of November. You all know that we've been on break. Sundays is our podcast day, but it's also our family day. And so we definitely want to make sure that while we're showing up for you all, that we're not neglecting our family duties. And so we took about a 6-week break to really be present with our children. And our dog. We got some people in here. What's up, classmate? Cephas?
Oh, yeah. What up, though? Classmate.
So this is our first episode back. And so we're going to debrief our Jamaica trip and share all of what we've learned, right? So we don't tell y'all nothing that we're not practicing actively ourselves as a married couple. Baby, it gets real between the Pontus, okay? And so we had to walk it like we talked it in Jamaica. And so we're going to break that down and hopefully be able to share some insights with you. So we went to Jamaica for his 40th birthday. So you want to tell us about just the highlights of the trip for you?
So this was my first time. This is your first time too, right?
Yeah, my first time.
So this was our first time going to Jamaica. I definitely liked it. It was an interesting arrival when we got to Montego Bay Airport, but you know, that's to be expected. Anytime I fly internationally, I pretty much set my mind that it's gonna be like really hectic and kind of a wait, hurry up and wait. So once we got past that, though, the ride to the resort was interesting as well. What about an hour and a half?
It was long. I don't know.
It was an hour and a half.
We stayed at Ocho's Rios.
Yeah, we had a all inclusive resort in Ocho's Rios, but from Montego Bay to Ocho's Rios, it was about an hour and a half ride, and we thought we were going to get on. They had a charter bus going to the resort. We stayed at Sandals, but
highlights. We ain't breaking down.
I'm just saying. You said the highlights. I'm talking
about the fun part, the stuff you liked.
I mean, I like the ride to see the stuff, but I gotta talk about it. So, yeah, but the ride there was kind of interesting. It was really tight on this little, like, I don't know what it was, but it was. My knees was in my chest pretty much. So when we got there, they had a drink and a little towel to freshen up. And the very first thing they did was come get us and take us to another little area where we had separate check-in from the regular guests. So it was about 4 of us.
It was 4 couples, yeah.
4 couples, and they had a little area with a bar and snacks.
Club level. So if you go to Sandals,
yeah,
don't stay nothing less than club level.
Yeah.
Cause you get the concierge with club level, and that's next level service.
Yeah, it was dope. It made you feel, important. They pretty much, made sure you was taken care of. They had a concierge you could call, and reserve stuff. The food was cool. I like the food. And
your time for the highlights is almost up, and you ain't talked about
Dunn's River. I went snorkeling. Yeah, and we did the glass bottom boat. That was very cool. Then we went to the waterfalls. We went to 2 different waterfalls. We went to Dunn's River, and we went to what was the other one?
Blue Hole.
Blue Hole, and they both were dope. They had their specific reasons. Blue Hole was you climbed up the waterfall, and
he said you go up to go down.
Yeah.
You walk up to go down. Dunn's you walk down to walk up.
Yeah. So I watched her jump off.
I jumped off a 30-foot, 40-foot platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope.
It was fun, but it was great. I like Jamaica though. I really like Jamaica.
So this was our first trip post-COVID. Our last trip was February 2020. We went to Cancun, Mexico. And then after that, the world shut down for COVID. And so lots of things about our relationship, hey Kiosha, lots of things about our relationship had changed. And this was the first time we were really like having to engage in these new dynamics. And so we were super excited about the trip. I'm talking about I had butterflies. I'm texting him and it was something about when we landed, the energy just shifted. The vibe wasn't there. Like, y'all know energy is real, right? Mm-hmm. And so when our energy is off, it throws off everything. And so we landed in this beautiful country and I was like, ugh, he getting on my nerves already. Like we just got here and he getting on my nerves like already. I probably was getting on his nerves too. But it was like sometimes you can't put your finger on it. You just know something don't feel right. And that's what we struggled with for the first couple days. Was this almost like this intimacy wall. And so I don't know if y'all have ever experienced it. But that's Brandy. I don't know if y'all ever experienced like an intimacy wall where it feels like you are trying to connect to your partner, but you just can't get there. Like tell me in the comments if you know what that feels like. Like you feel like we're at dinner or we're in this beautiful island or we're on this date and I'm trying to get there with you, but there just seems to be this wall. Sometimes I feel like I can touch it. Like it feels so palpable, like it's in the room with us, right? And so that's one thing that we were struggling with when we were there of like, what is this intimacy wall that we keep feeling? Mm-hmm. And so I think because of that, I don't know if you, I don't want to speak for you, but I felt like sometimes we were at dinner, you weren't very present with me, and it just started to like make me feel uh, like really sad, and it ended up in a lot of missed opportunities for us to connect. Mm-hmm. So you want to talk about maybe some of those missed opportunities that we did not take advantage of, that we should have taken advantage of, or what we could have done differently?
So for me, vacation is, I guess you could say, a time to, have fun, do something new, experience things. And in that, and in the excitement, I feel like a lot of times, you plan all these things, and then when you get there, you be like, man, I just want to chill, I'm on cruise control. So for me, it was like a struggle between, having my time, because this was the first time I had taken a trip anywhere. She travels more than me for work and leisure.
And I make no apologies for. I make no apologies for it.
You ain't got to. But so for me, what I'm saying, I'm like, man, I'm chilling, But then on the flip side, like, we in this beautiful place, there's water, the island, food, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you gotta kind of like, okay. So I think a lot of times at dinner was one of them. I'd be in my own world, in the zone, just relaxing, taking in everything. But for her, that's the time for us to, connect, how you feeling, tell me what's on your mind, what do you like about where we're at, like, how do you feel since we got here? But we wasn't on the same page. So that was one of the times I know it was very I guess opportunistic to connect. Another one was the day we went to the Glass Bottom boat ride. So on that day we had like different excursions. Yeah, we had different excursions set up. Like, she didn't want to go snorkeling with me, so she made me go by myself. So, so we did the Glass Bottom boat. Then I went snorkeling. Then she went sailing. Is that what you did? Uh-huh. Sailing. She did the sailboat. So after I got done snorkeling, after the Glass Bottom boat ride we did together, I wanted something to eat. Well, while I was snorkeling, she was eating. So I took the opportunity while she was doing the sailboat to get me some food. So when she got done, I'm waiting on my food, which I thought would have been ready.
I told her it was going to take a long time.
She did. But I didn't, like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't always be that. I think in my head, I'd be like, nah, it ain't going to be that long for me. But it actually took that long. So while I'm waiting on my food, she back from her excursion. Then she get back in the water, swim out to this little thing, and chill out there while I'm still waiting on my food. So I think that was an opportunity, even with us doing separate excursions, for us to connect and, sit on the beach and, just connect with each other, in the sun, on the beach, the water, you know what I'm saying? You on an island. So it was definitely some opportunities to connect, but again, it's that, tug of war. Like, I'm on vacation, I'm chilling, I ain't trying to do too much, versus, well, I'm here with my spouse, she wants to do this, she wants to connect, let's go here, let's, do all these things and engage each other. So you got to kind of be mindful with those things. And in the moment, I wasn't as mindful as I could have been. So that created, for her, like, what's going on. But then for me, I'm like, let me chill. Like,
so I'm glad you brought that up, the mindfulness, because that's exactly what I feel like is important. And that's an important lesson to take away. If you ever hear, like, I don't feel like you're present with me, if you're the spouse whose partner is always saying, I need you to be more present. I need you to be more present. You're not here with me, right? If that's you, I was kind of thinking about how could I explain this in a way that would make sense for someone who doesn't believe that they're absent, right? I'm here. That's him. I'm here with you, right? We're talking. We're together. Like, how much more present do you need me to be? And so I started to process, like, how could I explain it? What I came up with was this idea of experiencing the moment through every sense.
Yeah.
So what does it look like for you to be in a moment with your partner, and you're not only taking in what you see, right? You're taking in the smells in the air. You're taking in whatever you're experiencing through your taste buds. You're taking in your tactile senses, right? What you feel. Are you touching your spouse? Are you know what I'm saying? What are you doing with your hands? What are you doing with your tactile senses? What are you hearing, right? Active listening, where I don't just hear you talking, but I am leaned into you. I am actively listening to you. I have eye contact with you. Like, that hits a lot different when you are present in every sense with your partner in that moment. It's hard to make your partner feel like you're not there when you are taking in the moment through every sense.
A real connection.
It creates a real connection. And so I think that's important. I think it's also important that you de-blur what quality time is.
Yeah.
And so...
Because we have two totally different definitions.
We have two totally different definitions of quality time. So for him, as long as we're together, it's quality. No. Because we're together, but he's not present for me, right? In the way that I need. He's not taking in the moment through every sense. And so I feel like he's really not there. So for him, he could be there and I could be there, and it's quality. And for me, I'm like, I'm missing the connection piece. I'm missing that piece, which does not fill me.
And that piece, the attention is the piece, like, I'm not focused on her. So, like she said, for me, like, we could just be in the room chilling, laying in the bed, watching TV.
Yeah.
I'm good. But for her, my attention is not on her, so that's not the quality isn't necessarily there. Like, yeah, we're spending time together, but it's not quality time.
Right.
And I think, when you hear that, you just think like being together, but you're really not looking at the word quality and like what it means. Like, so now that we know each other's definition, we can meet each other where we are. Like, so now I know she was like, hey, let's spend some quality time, or when she say, let's, we ain't had no quality
hang
time.
out.
You know what I'm saying? I know what she means now. So I know, like, okay, I need to make sure my focus is on her. I'm present. I'm engaged. I'm actively listening. Like, all these things.
Yes.
So, what is that? What is that? Oh. You laughing?
I'm laughing at you.
Oh. Yeah.
Because you say I need to make sure I'm engaged. Yes, that's what I need in my quality time.
Yeah.
Pay attention to me.
Again, make sure that you define what quality time is between you and your spouse.
And Chelsea, I saw your comment. Hold on, I don't want to lose her. Have you done that? Do y'all have the same definition of quality time? Have you deployed that language together? Have you communicated like what you need? I'm sorry, baby, I just wanted to make sure.
I forgot what I was saying anyway.
So because he didn't feel present with me there, I began to feel rejected, right? So that's something that I struggle with. And so I began to struggle with feelings of rejection, which made me withdraw, right? And so then it becomes this cycle. It becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy of like, he doesn't want to be here. He's not enjoying it. And I'm creating this narrative in my own mind, right? Because I'm taking his cues that he doesn't mean, but that's what they mean to me. And so then I begin to withdraw. So now we're in this beautiful country. We're not connecting. We're not talking. And now we have this intimacy wall. So that anytime we're trying to connect, it's just something there, right? And so we have a few things that we can share of like how to get through the wall. This is something that we deal with because emotional connection is important for intimacy for us. We don't do intimacy without emotional connection. That's just not, we don't have sex without emotionally connecting first. And so if that emotional connection is disturbed, ain't nothing else happening. So here are a few things we do to kind of break through that wall. And so we've not actually tried this. I got this. We've not ever needed to use this, but I think about using it. I think we should. But what it is, it's a dice that tells you, like, that gives you instructions. I actually got this out the Target bin. It was like $1. That's why I got them. Because I was going to make some baskets. The impulse, well, it's technically, it's you go there. It's not an impulse because you go to Target to go there, to go to the $5 basket. But it has commands on it like back rub, hold hands, kiss, foot rub. So this is just, it's a low risk thing. And so the reason why low risk is important is because when you feel rejected, you're less likely to take a risk and get rejected again. So it's important to engage in something that's a low risk activity for you. So this is like, I'm not telling you to kiss me. This is telling you to kiss me. You know what I'm saying? And so it takes the fear of rejection away, and allows you to enter this intimate space a little bit more willingly because you don't have that fear of rejection. So that's one thing that you can do if you're feeling like this intimacy wall is present. What we do is we play cards, or we do something that we enjoy together. Playing cards for us because we're going to talk our stuff. We're going to have a good time. Or we do something physically engaging that we enjoy. And that helps to break down that wall as well. And limit the distractions. So if you are experiencing like an intimacy wall, turn the TVs off. Turn the phones off, like turn to each other and get engaged in something like, again, low risk that you all enjoy, because as you enjoy the activity together, you start to warm up a little bit to each other.
And that's something we did early. She expressed like, again, so in the moment we be relaxing and chilling, like, she wants to connect at that time, but the TV be on, so I'll be watching TV. Or if I come home from work and I unwind, I turn the TV on the first thing I do.
So, first thing, I'll be like,
hey, yeah.
Right here. I missed you too.
Yeah, but, so everybody don't, we just talked about that too, but then, that was something that was important to her. Like, first thing you do when you get off work is come home, turn the TV on, and, you know what I'm saying, let's, talk and, check in with each other, So that's something we have been actively practicing for a while now. Like, when we are having that time in that space, no TV, phones down, and make sure that we are, actively, engaged with each other to, ensure that what's being said is heard and understood, I think that's very important.
So I'm going to be vulnerable and transparent because there was something else contributing to our intimacy wall. And that was my driving from the passenger seat is how I would describe it. And so we, like I said, our last trip was February 2020. We got locked in for COVID. Yeah.
2020?
Well, international trip. And so we had a lot that changed in the dynamics of our relationship. One of the most significant changes of our relationship is how we started to view who's responsible for the house, right? And so we've shared this a couple times, but we went to a marriage seminar, and the pastor and the wife, the pastor basically explained the role of the husband as the cultivator of the home, right? He compared him to Adam. And Adam's job was to take care of everything. Before there was an Eve, it was Adam's job to cultivate the garden, right? And the garden now can be likened to our home and our family. Everything was under Adam's care. Everything was under Adam's care. Everything was under Adam's care. Eve came along to be a support. At some point, women have been told or trained or taught that the house is our responsibility. The kids, the house, the cooking, the clean, like all of that is us, right? So the man goes off and he goes to work. He comes home, he cuts the TV on, and boom, he's done his job, right? He don't have to be worried about the kids. He don't have to be worried about what we're going to eat. He don't have to be worried about if the trash man came or not. Like nothing that doesn't have to concern him because he's done his role. Well, this pastor flipped that on its head and really admonished the husbands to understand that everything under your care is your responsibility. So if the kids is acting up in school, that's your responsibility. Mm-hmm. If there's something going on in the home, if your wife is unhappy, that's your responsibility. And so I was operating at the time in the space of like all things managing the house, right? He didn't have to be worried or bothered by any of it. So if the kids had a dentist appointment, he didn't know. If they didn't have school and needed alternative child care for the day, he didn't know, because everything was living with me and I was overwhelmed. We left that marriage retreat and had a 2-hour conversation in the car. We couldn't even get out of the car because it was so much downloaded. And at that point, he became the cultivator of the house. He dialed in to everything that I had been responsible for our entire marriage. And you talk about a burden was lifted. I'm like, baby, I'm going to help. Whatever you need me to do. But it's your job to know about these things and to lead us. Hey, Addison got practice today, so you need to pick her up at 3:45 instead of 3 o'clock, right? This was now his leading and directing, right? Another impact of our relationship was financially. I finally got out the way, right? Because when we got together, I was the one who had been a parent before. I was the one who had to learn how to manage money to take care of other people. He was a bachelor with no kids when we got married. And so I managed the finances for the majority of our marriage. And I was overwhelmed. Right? He did his part. He went to work. He came home. He gave me the check, right? And I was figuring out how to rob Peter to pay Paul. I was figuring out how to how to make $1 from 15 cents. Any other phrase you could talk about when it comes to not having enough money, it was in my lap and I was overwhelmed. And I finally said, you can have it, right? If we get put out, we just get put out. Baby, if the lights get cut off, they just get cut off. They'll be back on. You gonna figure it out. So all of that happened while we were home, right? So we go on this trip and I've taken this passenger seat, but then I default to want to drive. It's just in me. So I'm asking him to step up and he's stepping up and then I take over, like on default. And sometimes, especially women, we do not create the space for our partners to operate in what we have asked them to give, in what we have asked them to do. I was like, lead me. He said, okay. Then I was like, wait. I got it. Hold on. He was frustrated because I wouldn't follow. And I was just doing what I always knew how to do. We hadn't been on a trip since before these changes happened. And I was just in control. And he was frustrated. So, of course, he's gonna withdraw a little bit. And so I had to, he told me about myself. And I had to, in Jamaica, y'all, had me crying in this beautiful country because he had to tell me about myself. But it was good because we recovered. We recovered, y'all. But I needed to hear that. Sit down and sit back. I said, you right. Let me get back in my passenger seat. You right, Sheila. Baby, ain't nothing in the world like having a man who cares for you and takes care of you. But I was defaulted to being in charge. And I was taking that opportunity from him. And so you have to remember to get out of the way. If you say, I want you to do this, I need this, get out the way. Now you have to understand, if he continues to not give it to you, he's making a choice. Now we're going to talk about accountability, right? Because we have our role to play. As the women, we have to communicate what we need. Once I communicate that, you have the choice to give it to me or not. If you continue to not give it to me, then you are making an intentional choice. And now we have a different issue. But I got out the way, y'all. I got out the way. So that was really huge for me. And I've been practicing since, right? Of shut up. I got to tell myself that sometimes. Shut up, Jessica. Just shut up. You don't got to be right this time. Shut up. Just be quiet. I'm working on it.
I ain't said a mumbling word. I ain't said a mumbling word.
And so, but this is a very interesting thing too, because recently Phil has become the literal breadwinner of our house. I've always made more money than Phil, but now I don't. He makes more than me. So not only does he pay all of the bills, he make more money than me, right? So he has 2 levels of leadership. And this is important to understand. I don't know. I'm learning Phil the leader because he's always allowed me to lead because I enjoy it. And he felt like I was good at it. And he's a gentleman. So he wasn't going to force his way. He's not an alpha male that's going to be like, you going to submit, woman, give me my dinner. That's not who he is. Mm-hmm. So he's always let me do what I enjoy doing, even if it was at a detriment for us as a couple. Now I'm getting to know him as this leader husband, and he's having to get to know me as this submitted wife. We don't know those roles. This is new for us. And so I think you also have to give, sorry y'all, I didn't turn my phone enough. You have to give yourself grace when dynamics shift in your relationship like that. Because I'm learning what submitted me look like too. Baby, I don't know what this look like. I'm trying. But I asked him, because what I noticed about Phil lately, y'all, is, he knew this was coming. What I've noticed is, since he's been making more money and paying the bills, he doesn't give in to me like he used to, right? If I used to say, baby, I want to go here, or I want to do this, or I want to, it's whatever you want to do. It's whatever, it's, But lately, even in Jamaica, there was a lot of like, I don't want to. Nah, I'm good. Again. So I'm receiving this as rejection. I'm like, well, because I'm used to him giving me what I want. So it hit me. I said, we were home, right? We had come home, and I said, I got a question. I said, do you think that because... I just find it funny how ever since you started making more money and now paying all the bills, you're less likely to acquiesce to me. Do you think that's a reason? Do you think that's the reason why you tell me no a lot more often? And he stopped and he looked and he was like, I never thought about that, but Yeah, baby, a little bit.
I gave you a number. What number did I give? I gave you a percent. It wasn't even that big of a number though. Cause when she asked me, like I had never thought about it like that, but I said that might be true. Like I'm not saying that, what I'm saying, just because I make more money and I'm paying all the bills that I feel that way, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that is why I'm not more susceptible to saying yes to everything or majority of things you ask me or want to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like
he was shutting me down left and right. I said, hold on, I'm not used to this.
So you just going to get on this little blue app and really do that. That's what you going to do.
I said, wait a minute, Mr. Pontu. I'm right in with your man self.
Just run out.
That man is banded around here. You hear me?
Folks just run out. Because I don't tell her no often. Or she don't get her way. She doesn't not get her way.
Let me clarify. Because I'm not talking about things that I want, right? I'm spoiled when it comes to what I want. I'm talking about come do this thing that you don't want to do, right? That compromising, that's the word. He's less likely to compromise, right?
No.
If I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. No, I want to say, no, you gonna get on this little blue hair.
No.
So
I compromise.
This is something that we also realized. As we grow older, as we've grown older, we don't do fun the same way anymore, right? When we first met, we did, right? We was in the club, we was on the dance floor, we was turned out, we was whoop. He's much more chill. He want to sit back, he want to smoke his cigar, and he want to chill. I'm still like, whoop, whoop. Hey, LaQuisha, I'm still ready to turn up. And so oftentimes we were running into like, I want to do this. And he like, no, I want to. And I was like, you boring. Like in my head, that's what I was saying. I didn't tell him that. Like, you so boring. You so old. You boring. That's how I was feeling. But I had to understand that that's a part of our evolution, right? And it doesn't make it a bad thing. But it's something to recognize, consider, give grace for, and compromise. And so, how can I still have my fun the way that I want to have fun, and he can have his fun, and I still feel like we're present, and y'all, Jamaica wore us out with learning, but we recovered. We had a good final night because we communicated. We spent the evening, we came together, we said, what is going on, right? We confronted it head on, we communicated, and then we committed to having a great last leg of the trip. And we did. Mm-hmm. I was honest, and he was honest, and it ended up being a great trip.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was a lot. So here's the takeaways. Here's my takeaways. Big takeaways, is especially for me as this woman who's had to be independent, right? I'm not an independent woman. Baby, I want soft life me. I don't want to have to do nothing if I don't have to. But I grew up having to not only take care of myself, but take care of children. And so as this woman who's now in this partnership where I'm trying to learn how to be submissive, right? I can submit when I want to. But what does it look like to walk in a submission, to your husband, if that's how you view, right? That's our view of marriage. That might not be your view of marriage. We're definitely equals and partners, but at the end of the day, somebody is the CEO and somebody got to own that decision that was made, right?
You ain't charging nothing.
Somebody has to be responsible for making that decision. And so in my household, that's my husband. So what does that now look to walk in that kind of submission? I can't drive. We both can't drive. Either I'm gonna let him drive or I'm gonna get out the way. Or I'm gonna be responsible for what happens in our relationship. I don't want to. I don't want to know nothing. Baby, he told me, what bill was that? That was double Baby, I turned over. I was like, good luck. He was like, the electric bill $600. I said, for real? And went to sleep. Because, baby, I don't want to be responsible. But that means I can't drive. I got to get out the way. And so that's huge. Being the best communicator for your partner, right? You have to communicate in a way that your partner understands. Yeah. Not the way you understand. If we have different communication styles. So I have to communicate in a way that he understands and can gain clarity, and vice versa. So that was a huge lesson for me. And then understanding that we are evolving. We've been married 13 years. We are not the same people we were when we got married. So how are we creating space to keep learning? I went to Jamaica thinking I was going to Jamaica with the feel he was in 2020. And I got there and there was a different man. And I was like, oh, Lord, baby, what Keke Palmer say? I don't know who this man, I don't know this man. So understanding how do you continue to learn each other and treat that person as who they are today and not who you've always known. So that's what I took from Jamaica.
For me, I took it's better to really just be in the moment and understand that the most important part of being together is connecting, no matter how you feel, whether you want your time, to do whatever it is that you do, you still are connected, whether you like it or not. So just be in that moment and, compromise. Compromise, which I do a lot of. And continue to always communicate and understand what's being communicated and comprehend that.
And be present. You say that?
Yeah, connect.
I like my little thing that I said about being present in all your senses. You gonna try that? You can try it this week when we do our date. You gonna try it? Oh, we didn't do our date either. That he owed me. But we'll talk about that in the next episode. No,
I did.
We gonna talk about that in the next episode.
I did, but she made me cancel and lose money. Yeah, I did. I definitely did. I planned it, paid for it, and then she said she didn't want to go.
We gonna talk about that in the next.
Isn't that special? I just find it funny.
That's gonna be the name of my book. And so we are actually headed out to church. We have church on the first Sunday. We have evening service. So we are wrapping up a little early. Continue to share our topics that you want us to talk about. We are getting our first joint account. We've been married 13 years. We've never had a joint account.
She didn't want to get one.
This is me submitting.
Again. You see, it is really interesting.
I just find it funny.
I've been suggested that we get our own, get a joint account.
Was adamantly against it. This is me getting out of the driver's seat.
I feel you.
So I went and got the application. I filled it out. Did you drop it off?
I did not. Because I got off work.
He got to drop it off.
Yeah, I got off work.
And we going to have a joint checking account, y'all. And we going I won't do it. No, ma'am, you don't. We going to talk offline. But yeah, we're going to do it. And we're going to tell you how it go. And I'm confident that he's going to lead us well. Okay? I'm turning over a new leaf, y'all, for 2024. But y'all continue to share topics that you want us to talk about. Join us next week.
I don't believe for 1 second she ain't going to have a little stash.
Oh, absolutely. I don't believe all your money should be together now. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You going to have yours too? You know I'm going to have a stash. I always. Anyways, next week we'll be back with a new topic. Continue to submit your questions that you want us to answer. Share the live. Again, if you're watching the replay, make sure you put hashtag life in the grid in the comments. I'm like Phil. They like Jess. And we're going to make sure that we respond to each of your comments. Again, thank you for hanging out with us. We're so excited to be back. We have great content coming up, y'all. So stay tuned to The Gray Area. Signing off.